hello mga ka-Crown partner. Happy weekend. How are
Happy,
you?
happy weekend, partner. I'm doing fine. Medyo busy lang sa trabaho. But yes, we are on our usual weekend, weekend pangtanggal stress, as I call it. Yeah.
Totoo, ang saya, no? Kasi tuloy-tuloy na talaga itong ating weekend habit, di ba,
I
partner? Ang dami na
know.
nating
So,
interview ulit.
ang dami na
Yay!
interview, ang daming ganap, and to think, di ba, partner, we're both working, and how are we gonna be squeezing all of this events and but partner, before we go further, no, while we know we are also enjoying what's happening here, guys, please pray for, this it's cliche, but please do pray for the world peace, because right now is happening in Europe, particularly in Russia and Ukraine, is not a joke. Let's rally behind the people be affected, particularly Ukraine, because partner, as we're if you're a history buff like I am, you know this is the last thing we really need right now. Parang after all the conflicts, after the pandemic, I think the last thing we need another problem in the world. So please do pray for Ukraine.
Yes, at gagawin natin yan. And syempre, tutulungan tayo magdasal na ating 367,000 followers on Facebook
Para lang
and
maano talaga eh.
47,000 followers on Instagram and to our growing community on YouTube. Kaya sa mga hindi pa po nakakapag-subscribe, just click on the subscribe button and hit the notification bell para ma-update kayo sa mga bago nating interviews gaya nito at coverage sa pageant scene and syempre to be part of our growing Crown Nation partner.
Yes, and please don't forget to keep on visiting the website www.thecrown.com for more updates. Partner, medyo lately, medyo ko slow pa ako sa pag-update, but yeah, I promise all of you it's going to be updated as pageant season literally rolls in. Ang dami na po nangyayari. In a few days, we will finally find out the official list of candidates for Miss Universe Philippines. And of course, in March, partner, we are going to be busy with the international pageant season na talaga. So, aside from Miss World, partner, eto na. Our guest for today's conversations is also gearing up for her own competition, which is the Miss Echo International, of course, to be held in Egypt. And partner, we all know naman that Egypt is also is a very interesting place. So we're going to be asking her later on what she's looking forward to when she lands there in Egypt. And at the same time, partner, we're also going to, get updates from her on what she has been learning as Miss Eco Philippines. So mga ka-crown, for today's conversations, please help us welcome Miss Eco Philippines, Miss Kathleen Paton.
Hi, everybody. Hi, I'm Kathleen Paton, Miss Eco Philippines 2022. Hi, Alexa and
Hi!
Christian. Thank you so much for having
Hi!
me.
Welcome to the Crown Philippines! Yay!
All
Yes, and
right.
mga crowns. Hello.
Hello, Kathleen. Finally, we were finally able to get you. I mean, it's been a few months since the competition, the finals. But before we go further, we would just like to ask, how have you been? We want to check in with you, how you have been doing months after being crowned as Miss Eco Philippines.
Yes, I'm really good. Thank you so much for asking, first of all. That's a really important question to ask. I've been really good. Everything so far has been really amazing in terms of my preparation and getting up close and personal with all the media recently. So a few days ago, it was honestly a lot of fun. I'm just in a really good headspace at the moment, and I just can't wait to perform in Miss Eco International this coming March. So thank you for asking.
Yes. All right. I will go straight now to the first question.
Perfect.
Actually, just a couple of weeks ago,
Mhm.
we actually know that you went to Palawan, where you actually shot your eco video. So, aside from the devastation, we all know that Palawan was badly hit also by super typhoon, or
Mm.
that like the other parts of Visayas and Mindanao. What made you choose to record your eco video in Palawan?
Well, yes. I just want to point out also, first of all, that Palawan has never really been hit by a typhoon, so it was definitely interesting seeing and talking to the locals of Palawan, especially in Puerto Princesa. So it was definitely interesting to be up close and personal with them. Palawan, obviously, we all know is a beautiful island. It has heaps of amazing beaches and sceneries, and it was one of the places that I've fallen in love with in the past years. So I actually took an escapade there all alone in 2019, and I knew it was going to be one of the places that I would do an eco video at. Um, I actually had a plan to do all the Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, but unfortunately, because of the time constraints, after flying to Thailand, I just wasn't able to do that. So Palawan is one of the places I really wanted to do that at, and there were people there that was willing to help me out, and I'm so glad for them. Thank you so much to Team Palawan Universe for actually helping me out with that. So, yeah, Palawan was just there for me, and I'm really glad that I was able to go there.
Yeah. And no, for the benefit of everybody, actually Palawan is one of the provinces in the Philippines that has a height that's actually been hyped for so many years now. I mean, we've
Hmm.
been through. I've been. Ako partner. I've been there myself. No, so
Ang ganda nga
marami.
daw kasi talaga siya.
Yeah, but there are parts
Yeah.
of Palawan that people have yet to visit. So
Hmm.
the fact that Kathleen has chosen to
So,
highlight Palawan for her eco video is a very interesting because you know she could have actually gone and went back to Aklan, which is actually her home province. So that's where
Hmm.
her parents in particular, were or the lineage of her parents come from. But Palawan is there's a lot of things for people to visit in Palawan, and we all know the famous Subterranean River and of course its beaches. Okay, aside from that, Kathleen, we also know that you and Michelle Arceo recently got to go
Yes.
to Masungi River, to Masungi Reserve rather. You
Yes,
did some
but.
tree plant, yeah, you did some tree planting there. But I also want to know, because there's so many environmental issues
Mhm.
that that's in our plate right now, aside from the consumption of plastics, of course water problems, which I know you're very much advocating for.
Mhm.
What are the other environmental issues that you're very alarmed about, and as you continue to study in preparation for the competition this March?
Okay. So, yeah, so of course, I'm an advocate of the water pollution here in the Philippines. I really want to speak more about that. But of course, you asked a completely different question. And so I want to speak about the fact that we have 15 to 22 typhoons every single year. And what the one thing that I really want to discuss with the government, or if I even have the chance to do that, is what are their preparation and actually helping the community prevent, like how can they help the community actually prepare for the typhoon,
mm-mm.
and what are they doing in the local communities in order to protect themselves, because it's inevitable that these typhoons are coming every single year. They're always there, but we can't just wait for it to happen and actually help out and donate. We can't just do that anymore. We need to do something about it before it happens. So that's the one thing I want to ask the government, and of course bring the communities together to be able to help each other out. I really
Totoo
hope I
yun, no,
can do
part.
that. Hmm.
Totoo yun kasi 'di ba, tama yung sinabi ni Kat na ang tagal alam naman natin that this is the nature here in the Philippines, and it's really just about time for us to take proactive steps, 'di ba? Para hindi na mangyari yung mga nangyari sa atin before na medyo
Hmm.
nasalanta kasi masyado tapos hindi nakapag-prepare. Partner.
Yeah, it brings me back to what Kathleen just said earlier about the typhoons. I think if there's one thing that later we've been very vocal. I mean, we all know what's going on right now in this country. We're actually going to be voting for a new set of leaders in a couple of months. But let us learn from a lot of the tragedies that have already happened in the past. And I don't have to go far. I think 2013 alone, When Typhoon Haiyan, aka Yolanda, here in the Philippines hit the Visayas region, and it almost literally almost wiped out a
Wiped out.
province, I think that, and of course, just most recently, Super Typhoon Odette badly hitting Cebu, Bohol, the Siargao Islands, of course, parts of the Dinagat Islands, of course. Who would have thought that it would be going up to a little bit part of Palawan? So I
No.
think, yeah, I think it's time. Last year there were talks in Glasgow. It has to go beyond the talk. It has to, this time we have to walk the talk more than ever now, because as everybody has been saying for the longest time, this generation, it's not just the pandemic. Climate change is a new battle that is going to
Mm-hmm.
be, the path is going to be the war, and it's still an ongoing war right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many wars, silent wars that we're all going through, and let's just do our part. So, partner, I turn over the floor to you for your next questions.
Yes. So Kat, syempre babalik lang ako ng konti kasi ang inaabangan talaga namin is makaalam naman ng kahit konti about your preparations for the competition.
Yes.
Ready na ba ang gowns, ang national costume, ang
Oh.
pasarela mo? Kamusta? Kamusta?
Well, the gown is by Tito Val, Taguba, of course. I cannot go to a different designer for that. He made my Miss World Philippines gown, and it was honestly perfect for me. And the one coming up now, it's almost complete. And I can't wait for you guys to see it because it's showing a different side of me. It's definitely more on the sexier side. I've never seen a dress or a gown like this before, so I abangan. That's the word, abangan, because I'm really excited for it. I can tell you the color.
Mas, mas sexy pa din sa gown mo nung national pageant ng Miss World Philippines.
Yes, there's definitely more
Oh,
skin.
wow.
Sexy ba yung purple? No naman.
Yes. Oh,
Yes ba? But yeah. And today, I saw my national costume. I fitted it. It's beautiful. Um, it's definitely more on the angelic side with a hint of sexiness, and it's not your traditional Filipiniana. So we're going on a different path for that one too. So I really think my whole preparation for Miss Eco is leaning towards the sexier side because I really want to showcase that part of me. Um, I don't want to showcase that kind of like kitty version of me. Like, that's not me anymore. Of course, I would like to let out my inner child, although I really want to showcase the different side of me, a blossomed woman per se.
You were about to share the color
Pasarela,
of your gown. Pwede ba?
it's gold. And
Oh,
there's a
ganda.
surprise dress also because there's two gown portion. There's also a surprise
Ang
which I can't wait for
taray.
you guys to see. Yes.
How about your pasarela training?
The training is fine. As you all know, I really love my pasarela. I'm a bit of a performer, right? When it comes to pasarela, I guess. So it's coming together. I definitely think that I'll be able to provide you all with the best performance I've ever had. I'm definitely not gonna be reserved anymore. I'm definitely gonna showcase a different side of me, and yeah, I can't wait for you guys to see it. That's all.
Nakaka-excite. Kat, is there any area of the competition that you think more about, that you spend more time training on it compared to the other segments?
Ooh. I've given all aspects of the competition a fair play. So Q&A, hair and makeup even, and the styling. I made sure that everything is on par with each other. And because, why would you forget about the other ones? Even all about the personality, you need to focus on that too because every single minute you're in the competition, even at breakfast, they're looking at you and they're making sure that you're perfect all the time. So I think so. Yeah, I think I would say Q&A is the most that I would focus on. Although I really rely just on who I am and my values and my brain to work. You still need to train with that. You need to be updated with
Totoo.
all the current affairs. Yeah.
And we're very confident that you do very, very well. So, Kat, with all of these
Thanks so much.
happening, how's your family taking these all in? Knowing your schedule, the
Mhm.
responsibilities of your reign? Are there pressure? Are they pressured as well?
I would. I'm not. You know what? We have a family group chat. I update them all the time about it. They're pretty hands-on in terms of the support. Although my relationship with my family is in a long distance relationship. And like they're very sad that they can't do as much as they want to, but they're very supportive. They definitely don't feel pressure because they believe in me, and I'm really happy about that. They're very supportive.
Ang ganda nun kasi syempre no partner, I mean, it keeps you going eh. One of the reasons why
Mm.
you keep going with all of the responsibilities and yung training na nangyayari ngayon. Partner.
Yes, yes. My parents are the best, and my siblings too.
All right. Speaking of long distance relationships, okay, we all know this. We don't have to say too much. You are in a relationship, and we all know that he's based abroad. So how have you been dealing with this long distance relationship? And at the same time, a little less time, a little bit of a less time now because you're prepping for the competition.
Hmm. Yes, so Kirk and I, we are in a long distance relationship. Fortunately for us, he's currently here with me. Did you hear his laugh?
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so he's listening to me right now. But our relationship is definitely tough. Long distance relationship is not easy. It's one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through. But I knew when I came into this relationship and I knew it was going to be long distance, that I asked myself if I'm ready for this. And and I said yes because I wanted all the lessons within that relationship and all the challenges to be part of my journey in life. And it also actually brings in the whole pageantry aspect as well. Like it makes me a lot stronger. It makes me prepared for all the uncertainties of life throws at me. So it's a really good thing. And Kirk is the best people. He's one of the most understanding people I've ever met. So I'm very lucky.
You know what, partner? This is one of the best things I love about when we ask these types of questions to our beauty queens who are in a relationship because it helps though that that their partners are very understanding because the
Mm-mm.
time alone is not a joke. I mean, considering the restrictions that we have been going through because of the pandemic, the fact is they're all training pa, and it kind of lessens the time. But the good thing about in Kathleen and of course in some of our previous queens like Michelle Arceo, who we were able to interview last year, it helps that the partner understands the
Hmm.
situation that they're in. Because sometimes, let's be honest, the less time that you spend
It
with each
adds to the
other,
ano.
it kind of adds to a little bit of a friction. So it's a lesson, it's a tip that that the girls would like to share as well with some of as for the aspiring beauty queens out there. You have to make time, but make sure also that it also helps that your partner understands the situation that you're in. All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also heard kasi like other queens and their relationship kind of deteriorate within the
Yeah.
pageant season. But I want to say I'm one of those people that didn't deteriorate. So if you're in a relationship, don't be afraid. You just need to find a man who's willing to work for it.
Sana all ulit tayo, partner, no?
It didn't come from me. I didn't have to ask that question. Okay, so it just goes to show that it pays that it has to have an understanding between two
Mhm.
people. It takes two to
Yes.
tango, ika nga. You cannot do
Yes.
the tango or a shal you cannot do a tango or a foxtrot without a partner. Okay, ayan na. Let's do the dance, dance related na tayo. All right. The other thing we want to ask you though, Kat, because you are going
Yes.
to Egypt, and we all know that Egypt has a lot of interesting stories. After all, it's a very historical place. We know about the pyramids. We know about their history. What are you looking forward to when you go there to Egypt, aside from the competition?
Yes, aside from the competition, honestly speaking, I would love to see the pyramid. Obviously, that's the one thing all of us, I think, would want to see once in our lifetime. So all the beautiful sceneries, all the beautiful people as well, the food, can't forget about the food, and yeah, just being able to see all the wonders of what Egypt has to offer. right? Because I've never seen it in life before. It's my first time, and I've only ever seen it in movies and books, as I said in my Miss Eco video. So yeah, and of course the competition,
The competition.
competition, obviously.
And of course, the friendship. Of course, you've bonded with a lot of some of the candidates already, and you did say
Yeah,
during the press conference a few days ago that you're very excited to see them. All right. The other thing that I want to ask you, kasi Kat, well, we're going a little bit serious on this one. And
of
this
course.
involves, of course, one of your advocacies, which is mental health.
Mhm.
As somebody who has been an advocate who has seen this, you were also very open in telling your story about what you had went through when you were very young. We are still grieving with the sudden death of Miss USA Chesty Chris. Aside from being kind, what other lessons do you think fans and aspiring title holders should get from this?
Yes, unfortunately, the incident shook the pageant world. Even me, when I heard about it, I was so also hurt in a way. I empathized so hard to the family, and I hope they're doing okay now. One of the lessons I think we need to get out of this whole thing is we need to realize that mental health is a serious topic and we need to talk about it. You know, we shouldn't people shouldn't get to the point where they need to take their lives in order to get away from the pain. We need to be able to speak to one another without the judgment or the fear of, feeling like there's no one else in the world for them to go to. I went through that, like as I told in the press con, I'm an advocate of life because we all deserve to be here on this planet just as much as anyone else. And we need to be able to realize that like we need to talk about mental health more than ever before. As I said also, the pandemic really showed that mental health is the most important thing we need to focus on right now. So the lesson here is have open conversations. Yes, I know we need to always be kind. We need to realize that behind these faces, these smiling faces, we don't know what other people are going through. We don't know the struggles people are going through. So we need to always be kind. We need to always understand that nobody is perfect. Have you ever realized with bullying as well that the people behind the bullying are also people who are just as much in pain? So the understanding that comes with it is really important.
And thank you for
That's,
sharing that. That's
yeah.
yeah.
It's a
It's
lot
a
to
very
take in. Mental health is a really hard topic to talk about, but I think the more conversations we have about it, the more easier it will get.
I'm bringing the topic. The reason why I'm bringing this topic up, as always, and we have always been bringing this topic with a lot of the people we interview here on the Crown Philippines, is because times have changed.
Mm-hmm.
Once upon a time, when you have to be always okay when you talk to us, people in the media. Even if you're not okay, you have to keep quiet. And
Mm-hmm.
but it's not like that anymore. That's why when we asked how you were earlier, it was very important to us to check in with you, because the pressure of being Miss Philippines can get to a queen so very often, because of the, and you said this in the press one, the stakes are high. Even when we talk to
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, the stakes are, we talk to Tracy, to Michelle, to even to Trisha, any other queen, it's always the stakes are high because of the Philippine sash. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really important that we also do our part as interviewers, as media, as people in the media, not to add more pressure to the pressure that the queens are already feeling. Because the fans alone, I think this is also wherein I would just add now, where the fans normally tend to push too hard on the queens
Mm-hmm.
themselves. So I think right now, if you really do love them, just rally behind them, but don't add any more burden to them, because being Miss Philippines alone is already a challenge for them. Now, this leads me next to to my next question before I turn you back to Christian for a little bit more light discussion. You know, as a beauty queen, you also have a platform to inspire people.
Mm-hmm.
How have you been using your platform to educate people in various issues, not just the environment, considering the rampant misinformation and fake news that is ongoing right now?
Yes, so misinformation is so prevalent at the moment. I cannot actually believe it. Of course, there's so many sources that we don't even know is right or correct. So how can we know as individuals, right? So we need to just ask ourselves if the informations we find online is truly what we need to share. Obviously, as we talked about mental health earlier, sharing information that is positive is probably more important these days if you're talking about mental health. And if you want to talk about factual information, make sure that they're actually from sources that are legitimate. We don't know what information we're sharing. And apparently earlier today, I posted a story and someone had to tell me, hey, Kathleen, this is actually fake. You might want to delete it. So I was like, oh my goodness, yes, I really should delete that if it's so. We need to realize that, and this is actually an issue for a lot of us youth as well, especially in schools. That misinformation is one of the biggest issues we're facing today in terms of social media and the internet. And I think it's up to us adults to be able to educate our younger generations in putting that in their head, because social media is a powerful tool, and if they don't responsibly, they're going to spread that kind of thinking to more people, and it'll ripple effect. So it's up to us individually to know what's right and what's wrong, and share that kind of message across to other people, especially younger generations.
You said the magic word ripple effect. So it's a tidal wave. It becomes a tidal wave, and that tidal wave goes on and on and on. All right,
Yeah.
I will be back for my final question later on. I turn back the floor to Christian.
Oh, tsaka
Thank you,
totoo
Alexa.
yun, no, partner, dagdag ko lang. Kasi syempre, no, kung sila are able to create, I mean, to publish fake news, tayo din, we can
Mm-hmm.
utilize social media to correct and validate the information, diba? So,
That's
ayun,
right.
so, yun, ang tanong lang namin, Kat, kasi syempre in the last few months, medyo nagkaroon ulit ng surge, 'di ba? Because of the cases and hindi masyadong makalabas ulit. But as Miss Eco Philippines, we want to know more about a day in the life of Miss Eco Philippines. With the restrictions happening in the last few months, ano nang nangyari or anong ganap for Miss Eco Philippines?
Ooh, interesting question. Well, if you want to focus more on like the things that I do on a day-to-day basis that's more personal, I definitely make sure that I work out, and I work out with my trainer Anton, uh, Siete Rales. So he's one of the best trainers here in the Philippines in regards to CrossFit. So health and fitness is something that I love. So I make sure that I do that at least 5 times a week, something like that. And then I would go on to staying at home actually. So I'm not, even if the pandemic wasn't here, I would also stay at home because I just love being to just sit back and relax, and if I see friends during the week, I will make time, but I honestly would rather stay at home by myself. I'm more of like I like to stay in my bubble.
And syempre
But
get
in regards,
updated no with what's happening.
yeah, and I can do that all on social media anyway, so it's okay with me. And all of my relationships are long distance with family, friends, and romantic, so perfect opportunity for me to be alone. But in regards to Miss Eco, though, in the past 6 months, I really made sure that I did a lot of activities to support my advocacy. So I actually went to Davao a lot, so twice, yeah. And then I also went to Aklan to do some tree planting. Of course, Palawan to do my charity works. I also went to Rizal to do tree nurturing. I also wanted to do mangrove tree planting, but unfortunately that didn't push through because of scheduling. So that was a lot. I did it in the past 6 months, and I'm really happy about it.
Yes, and it shows you're glowing. Actually, yun nga yung sinasabi ko kay partner backstage before you joined. Parang ang ganda-ganda ngayon ni Kathleen and she's really has that
Wow.
energy and glow. Um, so Kat, when you arrive in, kailan nga ba ang alis papuntang Egypt?
Analyst ko po is March 5. It's, I think, a week.
A week before the... All
Yes.
right, so what's going to be your... Kasi minsan, di ba, meron tayong mga... we spend time talking to ourselves or meron tayong mga parang conditioning lang para sa ating... But what's your message to yourself when you step in Egypt?
Oh, I've never been asked that question before. That's a really good one. My message to myself is have fun. Kathleen, please have fun. Don't worry too much. I know the sash, the weight of the Philippine sash is a lot, but don't forget to have fun and just showcase who you are because you are a beautiful person inside and out. You are kind, you are caring and honest, and those are important values to show the world. And I think people will love you for it. So just have fun, just be yourself. That's my message to myself.
Ang ganda nun, partner, kasi di ba kadalasan talagang na yung nabobombard, na overwhelm ng pressure, the queen forgets to enjoy and to really
Mhm.
showcase who she really is when she gets into the competition. And that's nice to hear from you, Kat. Partner,
Thank
up to you.
you.
All right, as much as we want to keep Kathleen with us, partner, we have to wrap things up. But before we let go, Kathleen, I have one final question. Actually, this question, Kathleen, is the same question I asked your own sister, Tracy Maureen Perez, as she
Ooh.
competes for the Miss World Philippines for the Miss World competition in Puerto Rico, which of course is going to make us all busy because sunod-sunod kayong magko-compete
I
with
know. Good luck.
Tracy, you, Michelle, and of course it's and Shaila has yet to.
Hmm.
Shaila is also in the thick of preparation, so sunod-sunod na kayo. Oh, my question to you actually, Kathleen, because you're actually leaving on you're scheduled to leave on March 5. Once you leave, once you actually leave for Egypt, the world and the Philippines included, is going to be celebrating International Women's Day on March 8th. What is your message to the Filipino women?
Okay, wow. My message to all the Filipino women, to the modern Filipina, I am here with you. You are strong, you are resilient, you are kind, and I know when you put your mind into it, you can do everything you can. We are in this day and age now where we can do whatever we want because opportunities, the previous women, the previous Filipino women in our past paved the way for us to be able to be here today and be strong women and choose paths that we want to do. We are no longer barricaded by men in the industry or whatever industry that might be. So believe in yourself. You can do it. And please just believe in yourself. Thank you.
And with that wraps up today's conversations, partner.
Thank you so much
Yes!
for having me.
Thank you again, Kat. It's been a pleasure catching up with you, and we're very pumped up to see you in Egypt. We're giving the floor
Mhm.
back to you so you can give your thanks or promote your social media accounts, and how else can we get updates about you?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you, Qrown, and thank you, Qrown Philippines, for having me here today. To Alexa and Christian and Jonathan and Donnie, you are such beautiful people. You've supported me in all of my pageant journey. You post me all the time, and I'm so grateful for that because you uplift me. You add evidence to my journey. And I wouldn't be here, honestly, without the media, you guys. And of course, to my ALV family, to the Miss World organization. You are there with me all throughout, and I'm just so grateful that you picked me to be your Miss Eco Philippines 2022. And I will do my best to be able to represent the country to the best of my ability. To my fans, to Kathleen Addicts, thank you so much for supporting me and believing in me. I will make you proud. And to my family, of course, thank you so much for being here with me. And to my team, hair, makeup, to my pastorella trainer, and to my designers. I have so many designers now. Thank you so much for believing in me and for choosing me as your model. I can't wait to be there in Egypt. I hope you guys can support me March 6 to 18. Stay tuned for March 18 because I hope you get to see a different side of me. Thank you guys. Thank you for having me, Qrown and Qrown Philippines. Thank you so much.
Your social media accounts, Kat.
Please follow me on Kathleen_Paton on Instagram. I have my Facebook, Kathleen Paton, Facebook page, I mean. And yeah, I use Twitter. However, sorry, I have Twitter. I don't use it, unfortunately. But if you want to follow me there, it's Kathleen Paton 97. Thanks, guys.
Ayan. Ayan po mga ka-Qrown. And of course, thank you to our 367,000 followers on Facebook and 47,000 followers on Instagram. And we're on our road to 15,000 subscribers on YouTube. Kaya sa mga hindi pa po nakakapag-subscribe, just click on the subscribe button and hit the notification bell para ma-update kayo sa mga bago nating interviews at coverage sa pageant scene. Be part of our growing Qrown Nation, partner.
Yes, and please don't forget to log on www.thecrown.com for more updates. We are going to be extremely busy this coming March. So please antabayanan ninyo yung mga ganap na mangyayari from Miss World to Miss Eco International and all the international pageants and national pageants that are about to start. It's really pageant season na talaga mga ka-Qrown. That's it for today's conversations. On behalf of our guest Kathleen Paton, my partner Christian, our director Jonathan Santos, we will all see you again very soon here on the Qrown Conversations. Good day, everybody.
Thank you,
Bye.
mga ka-Qrown. Good
Thank
luck,
you.
Kat.
Thank you po.